considered it from all angles, and I've seen McCarthy try to throw his analytics staff under the bus. And
that was fake, by the way. That was not real.
Was it?
That was not real. That was not a real quote.
What does it say that we all believed that was real?
It says a lot. You got to keep your head on a swivel when it comes to quotes on the internet. We live in a world of aggregation where anything could be possible. Double check everything.
So here's the problem. So I keep a pretty tight timeline. I don't really follow too many people. So I read most of the things on my timeline because I follow those people for specific reasons. Like some of them are friends, some of them are for fun, some of them are for football. So that obviously came across my timeline, and whoever put it out there is not a good person because they did not throw a follow-up and say, hey, just to let you know, this was fake, it's not true. So I'm not.
Oh, welcome to Interesting to See, your daily sports podcast, news, narratives, takes, gambling, and media. I should have done more media. I started this podcast to make fun of people who say it's going to be interesting to see. That's the irony. That was super mega elite rock star, former right tackle of the Kansas City Chiefs, Mitchell Schwartz, appearing as he does once a week on the Athletic Football Show. He got duped by a fake Mike McCarthy quote, and then he blamed all of us. Hey, people, if you retweet that, come out and apologize for getting the quote wrong. Oh, Mitch. What? Shut up, dude. He was so good. He's one of the reasons that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and then one of the reasons that they didn't. He was hurt really bad. He had one of the greatest playoff. If you're a football nerd, Mitchell Schwartz 2019 was one of the greatest individual football runs in history. And if there was a Conn Smythe trophy for the MVP of the playoffs for the Chiefs, it would not have been Patrick Mahomes. It would have been Mitchell Schwartz. But he is not an MVP of media, The Athletic. And who the hell's the Athletic host? Robert Mays really want Mitchell Schwartz to work out, but man, he just is such a Chiefs fan and so boring. And then he just blamed all of us for not knowing that a Mike McCarthy tweet was fake. That's hilarious. All right, today, it's a Wednesday. We're going to get into a little bit of a scandalous Wednesday, of course. It's been a while since we've done that. No big scandals, but we're going to get into some of that. We're just going to do some general headlines and things that are going on around the internet. The first thing that we want to talk about, we'll get into China. The Olympics are happening, but RIP to the queen of basketball, Lusia Harris. Lusia Harris died at the age of 66 in her home in Mississippi. She was a goddess of basketball. She really was. She led Delta State to the AIAW National Championships from 55 to 57. I'll bring this up on the old telly for you guys that if you want to see it. Is it the best angle right there? What about this one? That's pretty close. What do we zoom out? Look at that. Boom. For the YouTube audience, for all you YouTubers out there, that's whatever. Anyway, so she won a couple national championships in the 70s, and then this is the great part of her career. She was drafted by the New Orleans Jazz in the 7th round. There were 7 rounds of the NBA draft. Now there are 2. But she was drafted. She's 6'3". She averaged 25.9 points per game and 14.5 rebounds per game. She was 63% from the field. Obviously no woman could guard her. She got drafted. She elected not to try out for the Jazz. So back in those days, I think that the NBA draft was more of an opportunity to audition for the team, essentially. She elected not to. She was pregnant. She was on the first ever U.S. Olympic women's basketball team, and she was the first black woman to be enshrined into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. R.I.P. Lusia Harris. Black History Month is right around the corner. For those of you that follow Darren Ravel, you know what that means. Of course, people profiting off of black memorabilia, but regardless, R.I.P., thoughts and prayers, et cetera, et cetera. What a legend. There is a New York Times documentary about her. That would be pretty interesting. I like that kind of stuff. There are a lot of sports athletes and coaches of color that I didn't really know about that I could probably stand to learn more about. There's also this weird dead zone in media of sports between, essentially it's weird because everybody knows a lot of like post-war because that's when sports really became famous. Everybody knows a lot of pre-war baseball because baseball was the first real popular sport, but there's this weird dead zone between like 65 to 85, right before TV became really, really, really big and before the internet, where there are a lot of people that you don't really know about. Oscar Robertson, if you want to impress a lot of people at a barbershop or at a bar, tell them that Oscar Robertson is the greatest NBA player of all time. Anyway, this is someone in that era that I simply didn't know about. So she passed away yesterday at the age of 66. Let's go to China. Yeah, things not going well for China. The Wall Street Journal doing the reporting this morning for what's happening in the Beijing Olympics. These stories are published in the last 24, 48 hours. The first thing is that Beijing And China will not be selling tickets to the public. People will not be able to attend the Winter Olympics, which is interesting because the vast majority of winter sports happen outdoors. So, shows you how well China's handling the pandemic right now, the Omicron variant. There are rumors of like essentially concentration camps and shit in China for the pandemic, so it's not growing well. So the Summer Olympics didn't have any fans. That's when the pandemic was raging. 2020, then 2021, it was Delta variant. And now 2022, Beijing Winter Olympics will not have fans from the public. Now, I think that China, of course, would never close their borders to people who want to pay them money. So I think that there will be small contingencies of foreigners who will be able to bring fans and family members and things to watch them compete. The NHL pulled out. They don't want their superstars to be stuck in China for 6 weeks or whatever. So they're not going. Another problem that China's having with the Olympics is they have an official Olympic app. And get this. This mobile app is mandatory for all participants. However, it has security flaws. Not to mention, I wonder what they're going to do with all that data. If you were an Olympic athlete, I would demand that Nike buy me an iPhone for this, make up a bunch of fake names, and then just throw the iPhone in the trash or like just actually destroy it or watch it burn. No chance would I do it. But, oh, you want me to download an app? No, I'm not going. Can't have my DNA. Thank you. Gross. That is disgusting that they're making people download an app. Like to participate in the Olympics, China, the thief of all our data, is making people download an app. Yeah, that's par for the course. Of course they got the Olympics, the Winter Olympics that everyone cares about a lot. The transition in, let's keep it into winter. Let's go to hockey. This is Leon Draisaitl. Somewhere, depending on how you feel about analytics, Leon Draisaitl is probably the 2nd to 11th best player in the world right now. He is one of 3 or 4 German nationals who are. Germany has really got a strong showing in the NHL. Edmonton, a lot of people think that Toronto is the hardest hockey market. No, Edmonton's right up there with like New York for football and basketball and Boston for baseball. It is a market that they care a little bit too much. Leon Draisaitl is getting into a fight with this guy, what's his name, Jim Matheson. All right, Leon, what do you have to say to Jim?
Lots of reasons for why the Oilers are playing the way they are in terms of winning and losing. What do you think is the number one reason for the losses now? Is there one thing that you, in your own mind, you're saying we got to get better at that?
Yeah, we have to get better at everything.
Would you like to expand on that?
No. You can do that. You know everything.
Love it.
Why are you so pissy, Leon? Why are you so pissy?
I'm not. I'm just answering your
question. Yeah, you are. Whenever I ask you a question.
I gave you an answer.
Not very good one.
Okay.
I have one more for you. Leon, you show your frustration on the ice last game against Ottawa.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing when you show it?
Is that a good thing? He asked. So here's Jim Matheson being Leon Draisaitl's dad. Jesus. I like it, though. This is how it should be. This is what the NHL has been missing. Is that annoying from Leon? Yes. Is it annoying from Jim? Yes. This drama is how the NHL will get fans, and I'm about the growth of the game. Let's check in with the National Basketball Association. BBall, the Oregon superstar, he wasn't really a superstar, he's just really tall and long. Traded to the Pistons. I believe the Pistons got him despite BBall. He failed a physical, so the Denver Nuggets Detroit Pistons trade has been voided due to a failed physical. It was a good idea, but I think that he had an ACL situation, and Denver tried to offload him. I don't know what's going on. There are a couple trades that happened recently, including the Spurs trading Brian Forbes to the Nuggets in a 3-team deal. PJ Dozier, Bol, Brian Forbes, Hancho Hernan Gomez. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. But NBA trade deadline is going to be heating up pretty quickly. Let's get back to some scandals. You might have seen this going around the internet. We'll dive into it right now. Alabama.com or AL.com is reporting that Jay Barker, a former Alabama quarterback who wasn't very good, I don't remember him playing. He lives in Nashville now. He's married to Sarah Evans, who is a country singing superstar. He tried to hit her with his car, and he has subsequently been arrested. Jay Barker is jailed in Nashville, quote, after being arrested in Tennessee on a felony charge of reportedly trying to hit his wife, Sarah Evans, with a vehicle. Barker, 49, was booked at 4:10 a.m. Apparently, he tried to hit multiple people, and he missed, which is missing with wide open targets is probably why he didn't play much at Alabama. Oh, no, what a mess. What a mess. What a gross situation. The domestic violence is not a joke. That's fucked up, dude. Yeah, so that's going to be attempted manslaughter, right? That's not even domestic violence. He tried to hit him with her car. That's attempted assault with a deadly weapon. Ridiculous. Feel bad for Sarah Evans, to be honest with you, because I like Sarah Evans. She's got a couple big songs, I think. Okay. Saw this, too. So this is effing hilarious. Oh, my God. I can't even handle how fucking funny this is. So let's talk about Coach K. Let's talk about the NCAA basketball tournament from 2020. In 2020, Duke was the number 1 overall seed. The tournament was canceled. Duke essentially canceled the tournament by pulling out. They were like, we're not going to go, which was the right move. And the sports health guru for essentially the Western Hemisphere, is a guy that's at a Duke hospital, which is in Raleigh, not Durham, of course, I think. Is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all the same place. So they pulled out. Florida State was going to be a number 1 seed. I'm going to pull this up on the screen if you can see it. They have a banner in their Raptor. Saw this on Instagram. NCAA tournament. This is what the banner says. NCAA canceled. Number 4 final ranking 2020. Oh, God, that's hilarious. And it's even funnier because last night, Florida State beat Coach K in overtime. So this is what's happened to the Coach K retirement tour. You can see this on the twitter.com. So he verbally accosted a player. Then he lost to Miami. Then he missed a game in the ACC. He was sick, quote unquote, going to Wake, who has a better record than Duke. Then Duke won that game by double digits, showing that John Shire might be a better coach than Coach K at this point in time. Then Roy Williams, North Carolina rival, is starting his own retirement tour. And then he lost to Florida State in overtime under the banner that said number 4 ranking when Duke was the number 1 seed in 2020. LOL, Coach K. Does that count as a scandalous Wednesday story? I can't quite tell. I think that it does. Shouts to the Carolina Hurricanes. They scored a touchdown in hockey yesterday. They also tweeted touchdown. They have a great Twitter account. They have a great social media team, and they are actual disruptors. I think that people who run these social media accounts are like, should we do that? And they're like, well, just check how close to this line the Hurricanes have gotten. Have they crossed the line? Oh, great. Then we're totally fine. We could do it because the Hurricanes did that a long time ago. Pep Hamilton, who's the passing game coordinator for the Houston Texans, declined an interview for the offensive coordinator position at the Carolina Panthers. I mean, you think about what I just said. The Texans, who are a disaster, have this guy who's an up-and-coming superstar, perhaps, as a coach. The Panthers need to hire a superstar offensive coordinator for Matt Rule to keep his job, allegedly. He fired Joe Brady because apparently Joe Brady was the reason Sam Darnold and Cam Newton sucked, despite having the greatest offense in the history of college football and inventing Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. Not that they wouldn't have been better not that they wouldn't have been great on their own, but man, that was a special group. And then he looked really good in Carolina, and then they fired him on a panic move. So now Pep Hamilton, who works for the Texans, probably the second or third worst organization in football, if not all of pro sports. And he's like, nah, I don't want to go to Carolina. Yikes. That's a bad situation. Nothing like having someone turn down a lateral move, which Pep Hamilton, who is, of course, a black man, you have to offer an increase. If you offer an increase in title or salary, your current team cannot block you. So you're not allowed to interview another team's offensive coordinator to become your offensive coordinator. But now you can interview anyone you want as long as you offer them an increase in title or pay. So I think that's a really good thing. It's going to help with diversity, et cetera. But, man, Pep Hamilton saying, no, I'm good is, how do I say this politely? Fucking hilarious. The Texans are a mess. That's just funny. But I wonder if he's going to stay with Houston. The Panthers are a mess. The Texans are a mess. We'll get out of here on this. The Wall Street Journal reported it. PFF is showing it as well. PFF named its all-rookie team. And just scrolling up and down, this was going to be a special rookie class. When we'll look back on this draft, I think there are going to be 7 or 8 Hall of Famers from this class, which is rare. 4 of the PFF all-rookie teams, 2 of which are all-pro players. 4 of these guys held out for the entire 2020 season due to COVID, and it did not impact them at all. Micah Parsons was the best player at his position, which was outside linebacker. Penei Sewell held out. Jamar Chase held out. And offensive tackle Rashawn Slater. Now, you understand Slater and Sewell, they're big boys. As before there was a vaccine. Got to understand that. But Chase and Parsons held out, and they didn't miss a beat. We're going to be in for an interesting conversation, but what a special rookie class this has been in the NFL. We're going to start to preview games on Thursday and Friday. We'll be back and better than ever tomorrow morning. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Appreciate it.